My mom told me to hand over my wife to my brother at the dinner table. Lauren and I had been married for 7 years. We didn't have kids yet, but we had built a life together that I was proud of. We owned a small house, had decent jobs, and spent most weekends doing normal married couple stuff. Grocery shopping, binge watching shows, arguing over what color to paint the guest room. Nothing glamorous, just real life. Lauren was the kind of person everyone liked. She remembered birthdays, checked on people when they were sick, and somehow made friends everywhere she went. My family loved her. At least that's what I thought. My younger brother, Jake, always seemed especially comfortable around her. He'd text her jokes, ask her advice, and talk to her at family gatherings more than he talked to anyone else. I never saw a problem with it. He was my brother. The first sign that something wasn't right happened during a Sunday dinner at my mom's house. We were halfway through dinner when my mom suddenly put her fork down and looked directly at me. "You've always been lucky." I laughed. That's news to me. She ignored the joke. Then she looked at Jake, then Lauren, then back at me. "Maybe it's time your brother got something good too." Nobody knew what she meant. Then she nodded toward my wife. The room instantly went quiet. I stared at her. "What?" She shrugged like she was making a completely reasonable point. "Lauren and Jake would probably make a better couple." For a second I honestly thought she was joking. She wasn't smiling. Lauren looked stunned. I looked at Jake. What bothered me most was that he didn't look shocked. He looked nervous. We left shortly after that. On the drive home, Lauren finally broke the silence. "Did you notice Jake?" I nodded. "Yeah." He acted like he'd heard it before. That thought stayed in my head for weeks. The more I paid attention, the more things started to bother me. Jake texted Lauren constantly. Nothing inappropriate. Funny videos. Work stories. Questions about random things. The conversations looked harmless. Still, there were a lot of them. When I asked Lauren about it, she immediately handed me her phone. She wasn't hiding anything, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. About a month later, I stopped by my mom's house unexpectedly after work to pick up a toolbox. Jake's truck was parked outside. As I walked toward the kitchen, I heard voices. My mom was talking. "Lauren deserves better than him." I froze. Then Jake answered. "I know." My stomach dropped. Mom continued. "You've always cared about her." There was a pause. Then Jake laughed. "I think she would have been happier with me." I stood there completely stunned. My own mother and brother were discussing my wife like I was already out of the picture. I walked into the kitchen. The expressions on their faces told me everything. Neither one denied what I'd heard. Neither one offered an explanation. I grabbed my toolbox and left. That night, I told Lauren. She sat quietly for a moment before opening her phone. "There's something I should have told you." A few weeks earlier, Jake had confessed that he had feelings for her. She showed me the messages. He told her she'd married the wrong brother. He told her they understood each other better. He told her he couldn't stop thinking about her. Lauren's response was one sentence. "Don't send me messages like this again." I believed her. The problem wasn't my wife. The problem was my family. A few days later, my mom showed up at our house demanding to talk. Lauren answered the door. Within minutes, my mom said something that ended any chance of fixing the relationship. "You should at least consider Jake's feelings." Lauren stared at her for a second. Then she closed the door, right in her face. A week later, I learned something even worse. My mom had been telling relatives that Lauren and I were having serious marriage problems. For months, she'd been planting the idea that our marriage was falling apart before any of this happened. That's when I stopped trying to protect anyone. I collected screenshots, messages, dates, and every piece of evidence I had. Then I sent one email to the entire family. No angry speech, no insults, just proof. Jake's confession, my mom's texts, everything. The fallout took care of itself. Family members started asking questions. People stopped believing my mom's version of events. The story she'd spent months building collapsed almost overnight. 6 months later, Jake moved out of state. A year later, my mom followed him. Neither of them have been welcome in my life since. Lauren and I stayed together. We worked through the damage and moved forward. Last year, we celebrated our 10th anniversary at a quiet restaurant by the lake. Halfway through dinner, my phone buzzed. An email from my mom. Lauren glanced at the screen. "You gonna read it?" I looked at the sender for a second. Then I deleted it without opening it. No. After everything that happened, there was nothing left to discuss. My mom spent years trying to give my wife to my brother. In the end, she lost both of her sons. And I went home with my wife.